When it comes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the DC Cinematic Universe, this is getting to be like tennis. One day we discuss a Marvel announcement, the next a DC announcement, as they volley back and forth in competition for our attention. But it's getting even more heated as both cinematic universes expand aggressively to the small screen. And that's what we're going to talk about today, a very hot, much anticipated property that's going to stay on TV in live action form instead of going to the big screen, as I think a lot of people were hoping. And what property is this? Teen Titans, or Titans as it's going to be called on, wait for it, TNT. Yes, basic cable, or pretty close to that. Not premium cable, not even some of the more prestige networks that have emerged when it comes to television shows like this, like AMC or FX. And it's not going to go on Netflix or the PlayStation Network. TNT. And how upsetting this must be for the networks that even stations like TNT are becoming competitive when it comes to this kind of original programming. So here's the big question. How much of a train wreck does this Titans show need to be for you not to watch it? Because that's how intense the fan base is. We're going to show up, but the question is, how angry will we be when we get there? Because it's not only going to be on TNT, but the person writing it is Akiva Goldsman. How does Warner Brothers still have this man's number, at least when it comes to DC properties? You would think after Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, they would have torn it up, put it in the shredder, done something horrible and obscene with it, because that's what he did with their movies. I know that he's been somewhat redeemed with some of his other writing. You know, he got an Oscar for A Beautiful Mind, but then I recently saw, I believe it was Winter's Tale with Colin Farrell and Russell Crowe, and that was like unwatchable. It was laughably bad. So I'm really surprised that they would bring him onto this project. Maybe he somehow has the rights and they can't get rid of him, but that's another very troublesome sign for this property. So what characters are going down with this ship? Well, I think the first thing that comes to everybody's mind is Cyborg. He is, of course, a pivotal member of the Titans team. However, not if you read the New 52 comics, and I think that's very telling. Now, of course, anybody who loved the Teen Titans show, you would expect to see him here. But maybe they're also trying to base this a little bit on Young Justice, of course, a very popular, at least in the cult sense, animated series that very many people were very sad to see go off the air. So maybe they're trying to capitalize on that, the team dynamic that was created there. Although if that means a Ms. Martian would be on this team, yeah, I'd be pretty excited because she was my favorite character on Young Justice. But so Cyborg, I think, is unlikely to appear here, even though he's such a, I believe it was Wolfman and Perez who started the Titans line. This is off the top of my head, but he was an iconic member of that, a member of that iconic lineup. But he's in the movies, so I don't see how he could be brought in here. But you know who is going to be here? Dick Grayson. That's the biggest downer for me here, because I really would like someone during the 24-hour period of questions over on Twitter for reaching 10,000 followers. Thank you, everybody, so much. I had so much fun answering all your questions. I'm trying to get into the catch up on some of the ones I missed, but I think Twitter's hiding some of them from me. Sorry about that. They're not coming up when I go to notifications. But anyway, somebody said, what character would you like to see go to the big screen? And I said, Robin. I think the Robin story can be done really well, really poignantly, and keeping him as a young character. I think that that's, it's worked so well in the comics, a lot of great aspects to his storyline. Dick Grayson, all the Robins, particularly Dick and Damian, my favorites, have been a really great part of the comic book, the Batman comics. And it's why I think that Robin is one of the few sidekicks to really get the level of fandom and appreciation and quality storytelling that's usually reserved for the main superheroes. So he's going to be actually the main character here. This is going to follow him and these other, they're calling them superheroes to be. So maybe that means that they're not quite going to go out and fight crime as much as they would if they were in a movie. But, it almost seems like a more adult version of what Teen Titans turned into. You might recall they went on a lot of adventures in the original animated series, but then when it was rebooted for Cartoon Network, which, by the way, is the sister network of TNT, all under the Turner label, they just follow their hijinks at Teen Titans Tower. Just like, is there any food in the kitchen? Let's go play video games. It's, that kind of stories. So maybe they're going to do more of the adult version. And I have to say, because they all live in the same building, even the comics, when they did go on adventures, there was a very strong soap opera element, kind of, like these sudsers, or everybody lives in the same building and who's sleeping with who. I mean, that does exist did exist in the Titans comics, and so I can see maybe some studio suits going, well, maybe we don't need to have as many powers. So Dick Grayson will be the lead, and that really takes him off the board, I think, for any movies, which is, as I said, unfortunate. And the other characters that are confirmed to appear here so far are Starfire and Raven, two very popular characters as well, and I think maybe we would hope to see Beast Boy, but again, if this is going to try and keep a low budget, a TNT show, I don't know how you could do Beast Boy. So maybe, and Miss Martian for that reason might be difficult as well. So I'm curious as to what low special effects Teen Titans or Titans you would like to see on this show. And do you want to see a depowered version of the Titans? Is it the human drama that interested you in them in the first place? I think that's the big question here. So I'm really curious to know what you guys think of this. I'm just checking my notes to make sure I covered everything. Yes, I'm curious to what you think of how DC is handling their television division. Do you think that it continues to be a good idea that they said these are going to be separate from the movies? And do you think you can have an actor playing a character on the small screen and on the big screen and having them on separate tracks in terms of their character development? I think that's very hard. I think we're used to it as comic book readers, but I think that for mainstream audiences who aren't used to that, I think it could be potentially very confusing. I guess you have it kind of already going on with Alfred, Jeremy Irons playing him in Batman v Superman, and this new actor playing him, well, not new, but another new version that's going to pop up in the Gotham television show. But that's a really secondary character, so maybe they can get away with it there. But you have to admit, if you get attached to Alfred on the Gotham show, how are you going to feel when Jeremy Irons shows up in 2016 standing next to Ben Affleck? You might be like, where's the other guy? I don't even know his name. I apologize to that actor, but if he does a good enough job, we will all learn it. All right, so, and this is just filmed off the top of my head. I didn't know I was going to talk about him, so I know a number of you are like, but Google's right here, Grace. But I just, if you have Google right there, please write his name down below. All right, so that's the discussion about Titans going to TNT. Write your thoughts down below about it. I know you have them because this is a very hot property, which a lot of us have very strong feelings about. And maybe that's what DC and TNT want to tap into. And so maybe it's not such a bad idea after all. So thank you so much for tuning in, and you can check out some more episodes right now.